again with another video. Now, I want to say this. On the coattails of the interview that Cam Newton had with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, he ended up actually having an interview recently with Reverend Dr. Iyanla Vanzant. And, you know, I have to be honest, the interview and the way in which the two of them were able to communicate was very refreshing. And in my personal opinion, I feel like you could feel the love through the screen, right? You could feel the their ability to have the conversation in a sense that you know, any information between both parties would be well received, again, based off of the dynamics of the conversation. Now, before we get into it, I do want to just touch bases on that interview that Cam Newton did with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. And I want to say that, you know, as much as there was a lot of ego stroking in that video, as much as there was a lot of, you know, her trying to kind of soften the situation, I believe that when a woman is in her truest form or in her truest nature, it's something that you can feel. Right? It's not something that you can put on. It doesn't matter how soft you speak. It does not matter the tone in which you try to say things. You can feel when somebody is in their truest form and in their loving, maternal, nurturing, feminine energy. And that is exactly what Dr. Iyanla Vanzant exuded throughout this entire interview, while also holding women accountable to the utmost, which you guys know I'm all for it. Okay?
I was a horrible mother. Horrible. I was a great father.
Hold on. No, we gotta unpack that.
Now, one of the first clips that I saw that went viral from this entire situation was Dr. Iyanla talking about, you know, the fact that she was a horrible mother, but a great father to her children, which, you know, was a very, you know, weird, strange, nerve-wracking, astounding for Cam Newton to hear. And he asked her to expand on it. And when she did, I feel like it spoke about so many women who are in situations, who are raising children out of frustration, out of anger, and not out of being able to truly be feminine and nurturing their children in the way that only a woman can.
I did the providing. I did the protecting. I did the, you know, guiding, and I didn't do the nourishing, the nurturing, the affirming. I didn't do that.
Now, the reason why I loved that Dr. Iyanla said this is because, you know, there are so many women who are operating, again, out of frustration, out of anger, and because the man is not in the situation in the way in which maybe they would have wanted him to be, or because they put themselves in this situation, let's be honest, knowing that that man was not going to be around, but they decided to have the baby anyway because they were having the baby for themselves because their body, their choice. You know, regardless of the situation, I think that it just exposed a lot of the dynamics that people actually and genuinely go through. And, you know, it opened up a conversation that we don't have all the time, right? There's always conversations about deadbeat daddy. There's always conversations about how men ain't this and men ain't that. There's always conversations about, you know, the effect of fatherless, you know, kids being fatherless and fatherless children. But we never talk about that, even though there are women who stay, and I want to say this, and I'm going to break it down because I don't want it to come off the wrong way. But
so this person that's talking is Rivi TV. Support her channel. Let's go ahead and get back into her reaction. She was reacting on Cam Newton and Iyanla Vanzant's interview. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's get back into it.
But we always talk about the fact that the women stayed and took care of their children. Again, their body, their choice. Right. They chose to do this. But we never talk about the manner in which they chose to stay.
Right.
Right? And so the manner in which you choose to stay matters. Mm-hmm. If you are choosing to be a parent because you was trying to quote unquote trap this person, or you're choosing to be a parent because you don't believe in certain things, but at the same regard, the children are suffering based off of your actions towards them and are being exposed to so much trauma because of the fact that you really don't want to do it. We also have to talk about that too. You know, it's very rare that there's ever a conversation about people having, you know, deadbeat moms or moms who are there who treated them poorly because they were frustrated that the child looked just like the daddy. Mm-hmm. But these are necessary conversations that need to be had. Very necessary. There are women who will stand in spaces and who will separate the child away from their father out of spite, but in actuality, based off of statistics we've already seen, that children who grow up in the household with their father are better off than children who grow up in single mother households. There are women who will, stand in the gap and, as I said, cause a wedge between children and father. Oh, well, you got to give me this amount if you're going to see your kids, or you got to do this for me if you're going to see your children. But those same children, although that man possibly did not even want them with you, those children are better off in the hands being with that father than they are with you, because men know how to compartmentalize emotions. That's real. Men know how to deal in situations and say, okay, you look like your mom, or you acting like your mom, but that has nothing to do with this, because you're my child and I'm going to raise you as my child to the best of my ability because you didn't ask to be here. You see that logic thing that men have and, naturally wired in their brain? It always comes up when children are in the picture, when they are willing to play their part as a father. There's so many conversations of quote unquote deadbeat daddy, but if we actually rewind the tape and get to, the root of the situation, a lot of these children that grew up because of, deadbeat daddies, because the mama didn't want to fool with him no more. She ain't want to mess with him. She tried to take him for child support instead of working amicably with that man. He said he didn't want no children. She said she wanted them. They forced the baby upon him. Whenever the children are involved with the father, the woman tries to insert herself into the dynamic, and so he can't deal directly with his children because she want to be in the mix. We have to have these conversations.
Right, we do.
Because so many men are getting this title wrongfully, when the person who is pulling the puppet strings in the background is really the mama. Let's talk about it.
Well, no good ass.
So I didn't have time to wipe boo-boos and bake cookies and tell you how cute you are and how much I love you. Come on, let's get this done. We got to go.
One thing that I thought was so influential that Ayanna said, and before I even get any deeper into this conversation, you guys know, when I first started talking about the likes of Shahrazad Ali, who I was introduced to by Kevin Samuels, I went back, I did a whole series reacting to a lot of her videos, which I might bring back that series and redo it again, because I feel like there was a lot of value in those conversations. But Ayanna actually was at some kind of, I think it was the TV show Geraldo, and Ayanna was in the audience, and she was actually talking against Shahrazad Ali when Shahrazad Ali's book came out and she was on her book tour.
My name is Vanzant, and I am a Yoruba priestess and a cultural custodian. This is not our culture. This book is anti-cultural, anti-African, and anti-historical.
We are out of order.
Our ancestors have said that our key to our growth is love. This book contains no love. It doesn't encourage love. It doesn't support love. And it dismisses the most loving force on this earth, the African woman.
Now, in me being a person who appreciates growth and appreciates elevation, I don't believe that at that time.
That was like in the 90s. It was like the Geraldo. Yeah, they had to be like in the early to mid 90s. So she held up. She's looked the same. Wow, okay. The hairdo is straight 90s, but okay.
Time that Ayanna was saying those things, that she even knew herself that she would be in the position to now turn back around and say, black women are so out of order. Because I think that, the angle that Shahrazad Ali was coming from and the angle that Ayanna Vanzant were coming from, maybe it was two different avenues, or maybe. Another thing that Ayanna got into that I absolutely adored was when she talked about how black women, us as women, how, it is easy for a woman to emasculate a man and the stance in which she takes to do so.
You got all of this open, your nurturing center, your birthing center, your sexual center, and you standing at full mass, warrior stand. What are you going to do with this?
And the way in which she broke it down, talking about the the actual dynamic of the way in which you're standing there and presenting yourself to this man, kind of like a mama to her child, trying to talk to your man like a boy. That's something that a lot of Black women culturally have a hard time working with. And again, it stems back to how they were raised in the dynamics of their household with their own mother.
Wow.
A lot of it stems from the way in which their mother would talk to them. And so they believe that to function as a woman, that is the way in which you are supposed to talk to everybody in your household. The man, the children, the dog, the cat, the fish, whoever it is, that is the way in which you're supposed to articulate yourself, because they looked at that growing up as that was a sense of power.
Talking shit.
I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna tell you about yourself. I'm gonna, show you that I know more than you, and that is not your power as a woman.
Yeah,
your power as a woman is your ability to effectively communicate to your spouse.
The only way you're gonna get a Black woman to respect you, you either gotta have two things. You gotta have a lot. Not even the money. The money ain't gonna help because she'll be disrespecting if you got money. I was gonna say money. The best way to get to the American Black woman to respect you is she has to fear you. That excites and they respect men that they fear. You can't be caring and loving. They run over guys like that, the American Black woman. They have to fucking fear you. That's what turns them on. That's what gets them in line. That's why the mafia bosses get all the chicks, because he's murdered people. They're scared of him and yet excited at the same time. That's why Richard Ramirez was getting fan letters from women all over the world. Women all over America. Because he was, he did crime. That's what gets them. They have to fear you in order to respect you. Especially sisters. That's why they like gangbangers and hood dudes, because they fear them, but yet they respect them. That turns them on. But if you're nice and sweet, they can't respect you. It's just in their nature. You have to have some resistance towards them. You can't be all yes, baby. You have to be like you have to be like, I'm just gonna say shut the fuck up. You have to be like, sit your ass down. You have to be like, hey, listen, you don't listen to me, this is over. I'm done. We wrapping all this up. Fuck you and your pussy. You talk to me like that again, this is rap. And you gotta mean it. You gotta stand on it. And she come at you again, boom, block and everything. That's what you gotta do to respect her. And then when you do block her, you have to be done. You can't get, okay, I'm on block and see she fall in line. Nah, once you block her, you got that shit. That'll teach her the next dude. I better not do that no more, because that last nigga, I snapped off on him just a little bit, and he blocked the fuck out of me. You got to walk away. When you see any kind of disrespect, you got to be like, hey, baby, we good. Get the fuck out of here. Get your ass on. You don't talk. I'm a grown ass man. You don't talk to me like that. Bye. Blocked. Move on to the next one. You gotta cut them off, man, until you find one that respects you. That's what a man should do with his woman. If she comes in and talk to him crazy and disrespect him, he needs to go find another woman. You know what I'm saying? Don't play like that. You give her one warning. I learned this late in life. Okay, you know what? We good. This is the second time I had to check your ass on that. We good, baby. Hit the thumbs up button.
In the way in which he will be able to hear it and absorb it.
You gotta walk away from these motherfuckers, man.
When you start doing all of this, when you stand up there strong, when you start coming at him and it feels like an attack, there's not going to be anything positive that comes out of that situation. He don't hear you. All he hears is Charlie Brown, want. He don't want to be around you. He wants to leave. You're now just adding bricks on top of the situation, giving him more ammo to look at you in disgust. He doesn't want to deal with you in that frame. And it's so important and vital for women to understand how to deal with their counterpart. If you keep talking down to him, if you keep giving him an attitude, if you keep popping your neck and rolling your eyes and pointing your finger in his face, and he is not receiving the information, don't you think that you should try something different? A lot of people talk about like, oh, these women, they're...
I had a friend of mine, I ain't gonna say no names, I had a friend of mine I was talking to him on the phone, and it was funny. I had a friend of mine, I was talking to him on the phone, and he's married, And I was like, me, I was talking, yeah, man, da da da. So then I hear in the background his wife says, I ain't gonna put his name out there. His wife says, such and such. And he's like, yeah. She says, get the F off the phone. And he turns into, he said, hey man, I gotta go, I'll call you back. I said, wow. And it was, the cool part about it, it was in front of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, that's your husband. Like, that's crazy. This is your husband. Like, they got kids. I was like, wow. I ain't say nothing. I just like, wow. I was like, ain't they somewhere packed? Like, cause they was doing something in front of a lot of people. I forgot what they was doing. I think they was doing some kind of event or something. And I was like, wow. She didn't say, baby, baby, I need you. Baby, I need you right now. I need you to help me. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's supposed to be when you're talking to your husband. That's your partner. She's telling that nigga, get the fuck. He's like, hey man, I'm gonna call you back. I was like, wow. That would have been it. You know what? I'm calling divorce law tomorrow. Fuck that. We done, baby. You do this in front of, you ain't supposed to be doing this. I don't care if we in the bathroom by ourselves. You don't do that to me. But the fact that she did that shit in front of a lot of people at this event they was at, I was like, wow. Get the phone. Hey man, I'm gonna call you back. I was like, wow. Cool. I was like, hey, that's him though. He's a grown man. He signed up for that. But I was like, man, I've been calling divorce. Ooh, that's what we doing? Nah, baby. Fuck you and these kids. I'm getting divorced.
Doormats, and they just let a man say whatever they want to. You would be surprised. A lot of those women are heard and are comfortable in their situations, again, because of the way that they know how to articulate themselves with their spouse. It doesn't fall on deaf ears. Their man hears them. So much so that any request that she has, he will jump happily to deal with it. Because she doesn't stress him out. A lot of women lean on the, I'm going to stress him out, and if he don't like it, who cares? He going to have to deal with it, and oh well. Okay, well, you can do that. How's that working for you? I can guarantee it's not.
And then she gonna go to the mouth too? Yeah. Oh my Lord, it's violence. It's and true. Now if he's triggered and he's not controlled and he pushes, slaps, whatever, now it's a mess.
I think that what Ayanna talked about, the violence of the mouth and how it can also lead to the violence coming from their counterpart. I think it's something that a lot of people shy away from and they don't like to talk about because they feel like it's victim blaming. And I think that accountability does not care where your address is. Okay? Accountability does not care the situation. If you have to be accountable for your actions, you do have to. And I think that there's a lot of women who are able to stand in certain situations, and because they are not physically touching someone, they believe that they are not causing any harm or causing any damage to their situation, but verbally abusing somebody and physically abusing somebody. Why would they have counselors for both of those things if they were both not severe?
Accountability does not care what your address is. That's deep. I like how she put that. Hit the thumbs up button.
And a lot of women have gotten away with the verbal abuse. A lot of women have gotten away with saying all kinds of things. A lot of women have gotten into situations that they do whatever, and they know that at the end of the day, they will provoke you to wrath and call the police and say it was you who did something.
That's right. That's why you got to cut them off. Once they start doing
the man told you get out the way, you block the door. The man told you he don't want to talk about it. He need a breather. You get in his face and you telling him, you going to have to listen to me and I'm not going to move. Sometimes even more than the mouth, you will get into a man's face and you mushing him in his face and you touching him, talk about hit me, hit me. We have to talk about these things. Because again, a lot of the women who are walking around carrying this disdain for men, it's because of their inability to look within themselves and see the parts that they had to play within the situation. It's easier to blame all men, blame your baby daddy, blame your ex, blame all these people. It's easier to deflect and do that than to look into yourself and say, I'm the problem. I was tripping. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have moved that way. I was wrong for doing that. It's the truth. And again, the way in which Ayanna spoke and the way in which she was so adamant on holding women accountable, the way in which it was, she's talking about it and she's staying on point and not trying to deflect from the situation. I think these conversations are what further deeper conversations within the community. Not pointing blame, not coming in with a feminist narrative of I could do better by myself and these men are beneath me and I would never do this and you like this. To me, that is just exalting a woman above the man, which is something that I don't agree with. I'm just going to be honest. And what I'm talking about is just, again, referencing the conversation and the vast difference between Reverend Dr. Ayanna Vanzant with Cam Newton compared to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Anyway, so this is Revy TV. Y'all can check her out. Check out her YouTube channel. But that is crazy, man. Yeah. These bras is crazy, man. Best thing to do is just work on yourself, man. I learned this late in life to young men that's watching this video, or young women. Best thing you do is don't work on yourself. Build your confidence up. You do that through meditation and going to the gym. Go to the gym and meditate every day and pray. If you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, meditate and go to the gym. Eat right. Write down stuff you need to do as far as goals you're trying to obtain, and write down how you're going to get there and steps you're going to take to get there, and just focus on that, man. And the women that but you gotta have discipline. You can't be like, because you're gonna have that urge. That's when you're young, man. Your dick gonna be hard every time the wind blows when you in your 20s, and that makes you want to just waste time and chase hoes and go through a lot of shit to get in the bed with them. I tell you, I wasted my whole 20s, man, chasing ass, man. I'm telling you. If I can go back to 20s, man, I would have been working and focusing on my career and chasing ass. You know what I'm saying? Going on dates and still ain't getting none, $40, $50 and ain't no hear from the bitch. If I would have just focused on myself, I would have got a better way in my life. I wouldn't be doing Uber in my 40s. What do y'all think about this video, man? Leave your comments. Subscribe to Charles and Edward. Thumbs up button.